Hello, Dr. Sanjoy Mukerji.
Hello.
Can happiness be explained scientifically, or is there any science behind happiness?
Yes. There is a clear-cut science behind happiness. Actually, there are various chemicals which can be called as happy chemicals, or rather, the correct word would be happiness chemicals. So these happiness chemicals are naturally released when we are happy, or rather, we can release these chemicals naturally to bring about happiness.
Can you please tell us how many happiness chemicals are there and what are they?
Well, there are many happiness chemicals, but 4 of them are the most prominent ones, and they are abbreviated in an acronym. We can call them as DOSE. That means DOSE. And later one more chemical has been found or discovered. We'll come to that. So first understand what is DOSE. D stands for dopamine, O for oxytocin, S for serotonin, and E for endorphins. So these are the 4 major happiness chemicals. Of course, they all have got their different functions, and they are age old. Maybe around 50 years or so they have been discovered. But recently one more happiness chemical has been discovered, and that is known as anandamide. It has been named after a Sanskrit word called anand, meaning probably happiness, bliss, delight, joy, right? So the total word can be abbreviated as a dose. A for anandamide, D dopamine, O oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So a dose. So we can always call it a dose of happiness.
Are these chemicals basically happiness hormones?
Yeah, most of them are basically happiness hormones, and some of them are also neurotransmitters. Basically all of them are what we call them as biochemicals. But simplistically, let's call them chemicals or even molecules. Anything else?
Can you please tell us something about anandamide?
Well, anandamide is brain's own marijuana. It helps you to feel like in the heaven, like trance-like state or blissful state. That is what is anandamide.
And how is it released?
Anandamide is released when you run, like they call it a runner's high. One thing is while you are running or you are doing some aerobic exercises or dancing kind of a thing, or any game which is very much which requires a lot of activities. So anandamide is also known as a bliss molecule or a bliss chemical.
Okay, and what about dopamine?
Dopamine is called reward chemical, reward molecule, but some people also call it as a pleasure molecule. So it's a very important molecule which makes you feel good because you have pleasure and you have some reward.
And how is it released?
It is released, as the name says, like whenever you are trying to achieve something and you get a reward. But you set a goal or some objective and you try to achieve it. So that kind of a thrill that you get, the thrill which you get while achieving some target, some goal, that makes you feel really different, very happy. So that is where the dopamine is released.
And what about oxytocin?
Oxytocin is a wonderful chemical. People call it love hormone, love molecule, chemical, whatever. Another word is bonding hormone or hug hormone. So this is so very important for our social life.
And it's released through?
The name itself is self-explanatory. It is released through hugs, through love. Of course, not only that, any social interaction. So whenever we are with people whom we like, even when you say something nice to a person, like if you say you appreciate somebody, and that there something called oxytocin is released. When you tell somebody, I love you, oxytocin is released. Even a touch, a positive touch, consenting touch, what I mean, releases oxytocin. So oxytocin is released anywhere when you have, some friendly relationship, some positive relationship. It helps you. Yeah.
And regarding serotonin?
Serotonin was initially thought to be the main molecule or the main chemical for happiness. Till today, doctors use, serotonin reuptake inhibitor, they call it, SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Serotonin is majorly used to feel happy. That is the major molecule it has been supposed to be. And majority of the serotonin is not as a neurotransmitter. That is not present only in the brain, but most of it, more than 80%, is in the stomach. So whenever you are hungry, the serotonin level comes down. So you become irritable and you feel a little low or depressed. So food is one of the best thing to increase serotonin. There also mainly carbohydrates like vegetables, fruits, including banana and chocolates. Chocolates are supposed to be one of the wonderful happy chemicals or happiness chemicals. That's the reason ladies normally when they are depressed they take a lot of chocolates, especially dark chocolates. Apart from that, nuts also, especially walnut, but any nuts are really good.
Okay, and finally endorphins.
Endorphins were supposed to be the exercise hormones. It is the body's natural painkiller. So whenever you exercise, you release hormones like endorphins. But the best way to release endorphin is through weight training, if you ask me. Gymming, when you push yourself, or any other, even running, when you push yourself, any sports, when you push yourself beyond a particular level, that is where the endorphins is released.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjoy Mukerji.
Thank you.